Hi there, I'm the CCG Collector, and today we're going to be opening two starter decks of Wyvern Kingdom. Now you can see that they're already a little bit opened. This one doesn't have any plastic on it, this one just has the bottom, but that's because it is a very risky business to try to open these on camera, so I pre-started them, I think, and we'll just go from there. Come on. Oh, that may have... There we go. No problem. So each of these should have something like 2 rares, 13 uncommons, and 45 commons, I think. Set those aside for now. We've got Tarask, Mountains, Fafnir, Gietz, Azhi Dahaka. So these are all the uncommons, I'm pretty sure. Lindworm, Pit, Chimera, Swamphole, Moo, Underwater Cave, Gandariwa, okay, Hall of Chivalry, and Poison Chalice. Okay, so these are the 2 rares. Put Hall of Chivalry on a face-up dragon. This dragon must attack this turn. If the dragon can't legally attack it, then it must be replaced. Ooh. Now I'll explain what that means in a little bit. Play during opponent's turn. And then Poison Chalice, haha, there it is. The side with the lowest strength wins this battle. That can be a very brutal card. So what is Wyvern? What's the point? How do you play? Oh, before we... let's do the end of this. Tetsu! Okay, so our Phoenix reprint, each Wyvern Kingdom starter deck contained a reprint from the Phoenix expansion. There's no other way, really, to get them from Kingdom except for opening these. It's Tetsu. So, Strength 0 Scout. When he loses a battle, he can put a -1 Strength counter on any face-up dragon. Alrighty, so, Wyvern. Very, very basic game, very simple game, but a lot of fun to play because of certain elements of it. So, the point is, you have dragons that you recruit, and you send them to attack dragons that your opponent recruits. And whoever clears their opponent's battlefield first wins the game. Now, each player has 2 decks. One deck is the Dragon Lair deck, and that contains action cards. And, one is the Dragon Lair deck, and it contains terrain cards and dragon cards. One is the Treasure deck, which contains action cards and treasures. Dragons are your attacking and defending creatures. Terrain is more of a trap. All of your cards, you have 6 zones, and they all start face down. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. They all start face down. Your opponent has 6 of the same. His all start face down. And then you attack. And you pay gold to flip up dragons. Well, these aren't dragons, but you get the idea. To attack, you must hire the dragons. You must summon them with a limited supply of 25 gold pieces that you have. And each dragon has a cost either up here, some don't have an additional cost, and then you pay according to their strength. So if I were to flip this guy up and attack with him, it would cost me 1 gold. Every card might have a gold cost as well, and then you just pay that to play the card. Terrain, like I said, is defensive only, and it usually has some negative effect on the opponent that attacks it. So they don't see it until it remains face down until it's attacked. Then it pops up, has an effect. It usually attaches to the dragon that attacked it, and then you replace it with another card from your Dragon Lair pile, face down. So that could either be a dragon or a terrain. You don't really know. So this one, for example, says dragon can only attack face down cards for the rest of the game, which is risky, and that's why it's a negative effect. If there are no face down cards to attack, he attacks a face up card, he could normally attack at -1 strength. So that's the basic gameplay. The turn structure is a little bit more like, let me get this open and then I will keep talking. Come on, it's on this side that I started it. Yeah. Each player has a hand of, I believe, 7 cards that they start out with, and the turn structure involves drawing a card, playing a treasure, rearranging cards on your battlefield. It can either be face up or face down cards, but you rearrange it to give yourself an advantage or a disadvantage, to give your opponent a disadvantage and to keep them on your toes. So certain dragons can only attack certain distances. Most dragons can only attack the row in front of them, so they have to be in your front row to attack. Other dragons are flying dragons, which mean they can hop over a row, so either they can be in your back row and attack your opponent's front row, or be in your front row and attack your opponent's back row. And then there are super flyers, which can attack any card. But similarly, your opponent is under the same restrictions, so it may be in your best interest to move a dragon back to your back row if it'll get you out of range of some of his dragons. So that's where you switch around the cards. Then you're allowed to play a single treasure, and those treasures are placed next to your dragons. So you have a row of 3 dragons or terrain, a row of 3 dragons or terrain, and then treasure, 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 treasure. And the reason that they're on the outside like that is they usually affect cards in the row. Dragons in this row can't be killed by Dragon Slayers. Now, Dragon Slayer is a special type of action that you take instead of attacking. Once you've played your treasures, then you may proceed to the action phase. Players alternate playing actions, like this one, Volcanic Eruption. Bring any card back from your treasure hoard discard pile into your hand. So that lets you reuse cards you played already. And you alternate actions, then you proceed to the battle phase. If someone's played a dragon, if the turn player has played a Dragon Slayer action, there is no battle phase, because that's essentially his attack. If he hasn't, then he may attack with 1 dragon. And yeah, then you fight. Face-up dragons can attack normally. Face-down dragons, you must flip them face-up and pay a cost equal to their strength and their gold, and then you attack. If you attack a face-up dragon, then it's battle as normal. Person with the highest strength wins. Attacker wins in case of a tie. If you attack a face-down card, it'll flip up. It could either be a dragon or a terrain. If it's a dragon, you fight normally. If it's a terrain, you go through the terrain effects if it applies. If the terrain applies, you replace it with another dragon or terrain card. Or, I'm sorry, the opponent does. And I know I'm just giving a very general summary here. I'll do a full rules video at some point. And then there are also specific dragon types that are called scouts. I'm not seeing any in here. But scouts, whenever they discover a terrain, whenever they attack a face-down card and it is turned up and it becomes a terrain, it's destroyed immediately, doesn't take effect or anything like that. But scouts tend to have very low strength. Also, most cards in the game cost gold to play. Terrain gives you gold back if your opponent reveals it with an attack, and it takes an effect. And every time a dragon is destroyed or a terrain is destroyed, that's it. That space is left empty. If a dragon defeats a terrain, like a scout, that's the same case. If a dragon is affected by a terrain, so you attack with your Mokele Mbembe, and you hit your opponent's snowdrifts, a dragon caught in snowdrift must pay 1 gold piece to attack. Now that terrain has served its purpose, it attaches to your dragon, and your opponent may replace it with another face-down card. So when stuff... Okay, and here are our two rares. Magic Shield. Battle action. A dragon in this row gains +1 strength when defending for each gold piece played. And Apollo. Draw 2 cards from your treasure hoard draw pile. Very nice. So, actions come in 3 flavors. You have normal actions, battle actions, and reactions. Normal actions can only be played before and after the battle phase. Battle actions can only be played during the battle phase. And that's that. After you do your attacking, then you have another round of actions. You discard down to 7 cards, and it's your opponent's turn. And whoever clears out their opponent's dragon battlefield first, those 6 cards, wins the game. So that's that. That's Wyvern. These are 2 Wyvern Kingdom starter decks, and I am the CCG Collector. Hope that was informative to you all. Either way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.